Hello, Degens. It is Saturday, February 19th. I'm the Brofict one, AJ, and with me as always is the Sportsbook Whisperer, Noah. We are talking college basketball today, and I know whenever we talk college basketball, I'm doing great, but I gotta ask you, Noah, how the hell you doing today?
Well, AJ, I'm doing great. I will say it is Friday the 18th, not Saturday the 19th
Yes, but
currently.
everyone's gonna be listening to this on the
True.
19th. So, Noah, that's what
True.
in the business we call that, pretending and the
Okay.
illusion of it being live and everything. So if next time you don't blow up my spot like that, I would really fucking appreciate it, bud.
Well, currently we are hours away from Saturday, as AJ
Thanks, Noah.
said. Um, we got a little special college basketball check-in episode. We got to make sure we are staying up to date with what's going on with college basketball, specifically in the top 25 rankings. Obviously, those will shift up on Monday as they do every week, but we will be talking about our takes on all of the top 25 teams here right now. And
Yes,
AJ,
yes, we will.
should we just should we just dive into it?
Noah, that's all we know how to do is dive into it, brother. So we might as well keep going with the way we do every show. So yeah, let's go with it, bro.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously Gonzaga sitting at number one. Um, I don't know
Come
that there's
on.
a whole lot. I don't know that there's a whole lot we need to say about Gonzaga.
No.
Obviously, they are just like wiping the slate with their entire conference, winning every game by like 15 plus points.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's
have much to
awesome.
say about Gonzaga. I don't know about you, AJ. I mean, you could argue, do they deserve the number one seed or not? That's an argument for another day. They are number one. They definitely are deserving of a top three, top five seed at the very least. I don't know that there's a whole lot to say about Gonzaga. They've just been kind of
I
killing
do just
everybody.
want to echo Noah that I agree with you. How dominant they are and everything, they do deserve a top five, top three seed. But with their division and everything, it is insulting almost that they're number one. I'm just going to leave it at that because, like you said, that is a conversation for another day. But they are extremely dominant, so they should be in the top three. But whatever, the AP can do what they do.
All right. Well, the team that might be a little bit more controversial here, Auburn, losing at Arkansas, who was unranked at the time. Now they are in the rankings. Um, Auburn maintaining that number two spot, still getting 4 votes for number one. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Obviously, as Arizona fans, we have to be outraged about it.
Outraged. I'm about to turn into
There,
Stephen
there,
A. Smith
there's
up
no
in here,
question.
bro. Shit.
Um, as a fan of college basketball in general, Auburn is very good. They held that number one seed for way longer than anybody else has
Oh yeah.
this entire year. One loss to a good team on the road. I'm actually not that pissed off about them staying at number two. I think they're a very good team.
No, end of the day, end of the story. They're a good basketball team. It's the buck starts and stops with that. They are a good team that puts up impressive numbers against other really good teams. They played against Bama a couple times. I believe they played against Bama one time this year already, and it was a close game, good game. Bama came out. I mean, Auburn came out on top, and it. I like this Auburn team a lot. I'm really excited to see them in tournament time.
Yeah, and Jabari Smith, probably the number one overall pick in the draft, playing out of his mind. Walker Kessler, their big man, he's playing really good. This Auburn team they play really good basketball. I'm not upset about them at number
No,
two. If it weren't for Arizona being nipping at their heels, I would be completely fine with this.
I'm with you, bro.
That to segue into that, we have our pride and joy out of Tucson, the Arizona Wildcats sitting at number three, completing, just dominant win after
Yep.
dominant win. Man, I think my favorite part about this team is how much they're beating these Pac 12 teams by.
No, I gotta agree with you. And don't get me wrong, as a sports bettor, I gotta stop taking them at 24.5 and thinking they'll win by 30 because they end up just winning by 12. Vegas has become very sharp to that. So shout out to Vegas for figuring out U of A around the same time I did, but that's not that impressive because I'm pretty slow with this shit. But no, we just live streamed a U of A game and we couldn't stop talking about Tommy Lloyd and what he has done to this squad and what he's been able to do within one season. I mean, this U of A team, we won't harp on them for too long because we could talk about U of A basketball for the next 3 hours if we wanted to. But they're not only poised to make a tournament run, they are poised to make a deep tournament run. And I think the dominant victories, unlike the years in the past with Sean Miller, I don't think it is a red herring for things like it's a red herring or anything. I think it is more of the
Well,
truth of what is to come later in the season.
and the difference is Tommy Lloyd can coach.
Oh, yeah,
Sean
Tommy
Miller,
Lloyd can actually coach. It's
Sean,
insane.
Sean, Sean Miller, tremendous recruiter, not a good coach. That's my opinion on it. I won't spend too much time on that, obviously, because we do have to rattle through the rest
Yes.
of the top 25.
Ooh, also
Um,
RIP ESPN for
this
doing college game day tomorrow, Saturday in Arizona. They're gonna get fucking destroyed. I'd love to see that. Fuck you,
stole
ESPN.
stole my thunder. I was about to bring that up,
Sorry,
but
sorry.
yes, I cannot wait. I will be getting up to watch that. It's going to be so funny. Um, None of these students were students
No,
when we got slighted as you know by all means, we lost recruits because of ESPN jumping the gun and pushing a
we
false
lost
story.
Shaq's son.
Um, we lost a number of recruits. We lost better recruits than that because of that, the
Yeah,
whole story. Um, Jay Bilas, I kind of respect still, but like him and that whole crew and ESPN, oh, it's going to be so funny. I can't wait to see game day from Tucson. It is going
it's
to
gonna be
be
beautiful.
tremendous. Oh my God. And AJ, I just do have to say real quick, I was reading, they're putting in extra precautions for like delaying video and sound because they're anticipating
Oh, U of A is
things.
ruthless, bro. U of A is
They're
ruthless when it comes to shit like this. We are gonna wreck
they
them, bro.
they are anticipating things being yelled out, signs being snuck in that weren't approved, like all of this. It's going to be great. Uh, this game day is going to be a hoot. If you do normally watch game day, this will be a great one. If you don't, I mean, I highly encourage you to tune into this one.
Let's keep it going.
Number 4, Kentucky. We covered this game.
Yep, that was a fun fucking game, dude.
They got spanked by Tennessee. Tennessee, a very good team that we will get to later on because they are also in the rankings. But Kentucky lost their grip on a number 1 seed. They're now staring at a number 2 seed because Tennessee. I mean, that game was at Tennessee, so I feel like the seeding is a little like overreacted to that. Like Tennessee, a very good team, and Kentucky lost at Tennessee. We lost at Tennessee, so I mean, you know,
My only thing, my two thoughts on this is Kentucky is Kentucky. They're going to be a contender. They're going to be a good team. That's just not going to stop anytime soon. They're a solid team. We saw that when we covered this game. The other thing I think we haven't taken into account as much recently, we do with U of A games, but we really haven't with much other games, is that home court matters in college basketball more than almost any other sport, I would say. And a lot of these players, if they played last season or even they played a senior year in high school, they probably didn't play in front of fans. And so going to a rowdy U of A McHale or going to a rowdy Tennessee crowd,
little Rocky Top, baby.
exactly, I mean, that's going to throw some of these younger players off because they've been off of that for the last 2 years and haven't had to experience it. So that is something I think we will need to take into account coming tournament time, going to neutral facilities. But Noah, let's keep it going. Who do we got at number 5 right now?
They got Purdue, who
Ooh.
struggled a bit earlier this week against Northwestern, who is not a very good team. They have Rutgers coming up on Sunday. Rutgers has 4 straight wins against ranked opponents. Rutgers themselves not ranked, but they have 4 straight wins against ranked opponents. Rutgers is no joke. I mean, and they're a team that I expect to make the tournament at, like 10, 11, 12 seed type of thing. They're one you're going to have to watch out for. Rutgers. Just quick shout out to Rutgers. I won't cover them anymore because we're talking about the top 25 teams. Purdue, yeah, I mean, like I said, struggled at Northwestern. Um, they've kind of been struggling through this Big Ten schedule, but they seem to win most of their games. So they.
Only thoughts on Purdue? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, unless they're losing, I don't know. I mean, the Big Ten is a gauntlet, as a lot
No,
of the announcers
absolutely.
like to say.
Hey, I would love to continue that narrative because this Big Ten basketball is like this is my first time like really diving deep into more than just Pac-12 basketball and really diving into everything. I love Big Ten basketball. Keep it coming with me. Purdue also, I'm gonna stick with it. They need to change their name to the Spoiler Makers, honestly, because I feel like whenever I see them winning a game, it's one of these big games against a very high ranked team or something like that, and they keep improving their status. They keep doing what they're doing. I think they're going to maybe be a Cinderella, not really a Cinderella darling, but a team that probably shouldn't be in the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, but might end up making it.
What are you talking about? I mean, they're going to be a 2 or a 3 seed
No, I
at like
understand, but
the worst.
but
So
let's be real. But no,
you
you and I have
can't
watched a lot of
you
college
can't
basketball, and you're telling me watching
can't
Purdue,
you
they're a
can't.
number five. They're not a number five.
Oh my god! But like, you can't throw the word Cinderella around for a team that's a 2 or 3 seed. That's just like that's
But they're not supposed to be a 2 and a 3 seed. You've seen them play basketball.
yeah,
They're
they're fucking
sloppy as
good.
hell. They're very young.
No, no, they're not young, and they're fucking good. This is why I picked them as my team to win preseason.
Wow. Wow. Let's keep it moving
Anyways,
because we obviously have some issues that we need to settle about Purdue.
we'll move on to our next 2 teams are both from another conference that's been absolutely killing it this year. A conference that could send almost all of its members to the tournament. The Big 12, which only has 10 members, by the way, but they're looking at eight or 9 teams in the tournament out of 10. We'll start with number 6, Kansas. I mean, Kansas playing really good ball. I feel like Kansas this year is multiple times they get up to the point where they're flirting with or just inside of the top 5, and then they lose a bad one. It seems
No, I
like that's
couldn't.
been the story of the Kansas Jayhawks this year.
As you know, Noah, I have Jayhawks in my household and everything, and so I have to cover them and watch them carefully. This is not a Jayhawks team that we've seen in the past and anything like that. And I don't think a Jayhawks team we're going to see again. And I don't mean that in a good way. Yes, they're winning games. They're 20-4. They're number 6 right now. But this isn't a good Kansas team. You know what I mean? We've watched a lot of Kansas basketball, not a good Kansas team. I don't
I
expect
mean,
them to make a deep trip in the tournament, but number 6 is appropriate for them.
I mean, Ochai Abaji, obviously, like super good player. He's the heart and soul of that team. But yeah, I don't know that they have the depth to make a deep run necessarily, but definitely a team that I fully expect to make it at least to like the Sweet 16.
Yeah, probably. More
Um,
than likely, but
staying in the Big 12, the team that I picked to win it all last year, who did win it all last year, the Baylor Bears, who have been got off to a really, really hot start this year, have been struggling a little bit as of late, still ranked at number 7, but I believe they did lose this week to Texas Tech. Yeah, they 10-point loss at Texas Tech earlier this week. Um, and the biggest news out of that was Jonathan Chamwa Chachua going down with an injury in that game. Baylor's dealing with some injuries. They're not obviously losing a couple players to the NBA last year. They're not
Yep.
quite as strong, but they are still a very good team led by Scott Drew, who is a very good coach.
No, as long as he's there, I think Baylor is going to be a force. I think, especially after the performance last year and everything, Baylor is going to be one of those schools where people are going to want to go to. We may end up seeing a lot more 5-star, 4-star recruits go there. Baylor has been a dominant team. They're going to continue to be a dominant team. And, you know, 21-4, number 7. I mean, argue, in my opinion, personally, I understand their record's worse, but I think they're better than Kansas, and I would even argue Purdue, but that's a conversation for another day. But excited to see what Baylor's going to do in this tournament. I
Man,
trailed you last year on Baylor winning the whole thing, and you were right on that, right on the money and everything. So excited to see what they'll do. But
I'm telling you, dude, the top of that Big 12 conference is it's tight. It's tough. I mean, between Kansas, Baylor, Texas Tech, those
all right,
three,
well,
which we will get to Texas Tech in a second, but holy shit. Ooh,
now can we
excuse me.
talk about?
Um,
Now can we go into this next game, this next team, Noah? Because I love this team.
do you? Because I hate them.
Really?
Yeah, it's sitting at number 8 currently, the Providence Friars,
Hell
who
yeah!
who lost to Villanova earlier this week, so they will take a little bit of a dip at least. AJ, what do you love about Providence?
So, number one, smaller school. I love my smaller schools. I understand they're in the Big East and everything, but they're still technically a smaller type of a school, so love that. Number two, I like the way they play, Noah. I understand that it might not be the
Do
prettiest
you
thing we've. I understand, Noah, it might not be the
do you
prettiest
like the way they
thing.
play?
It might not be the prettiest thing we've ever seen on the court, but Noah, you understand I'm a big proponent of whoever puts the most points on the scoreboard at the end of the game is the better team. And Providence continues to do that at a record of 21-2. And so don't get
Well,
me wrong. Do not get me
21 and
wrong.
3 now.
Excuse me. Sorry, I forgot about that loss. But point being, not expecting them to do a lot in the tournament because I do think they do have a lighter schedule and everything. But I do think number 8 is appropriate.
I don't. I completely don't. Um, my reasoning for that is if you look at all their stats and analytics and everything like that, they fall right in line with a bunch of the teams that are poised to make like a 7 to 10 seed
Fair
in the
enough.
tournament. The only difference is Providence is 21-3, which makes no fucking sense because they don't play good basketball. They're not a good team. I mean they're a good team, but they're not a great team. They're not a top 10 team. They don't deserve to be in the top 10. And here is my fucking hot take on Providence. Um, now I wish I could have gotten this in before they lost to Villanova this past week because I would have said they're going to lose 4 out of their last 6 games, and so they already lost Villanova, so they're going to lose 3 out of their last 5. They're going to have an early exit in the Big East tournament, and they are going to fall to a 6 or a 7 seed. They're not that good. They're not that good. They just win. I mean they've hit a very hot streak of winning. They've won a lot of close games that they probably maybe shouldn't have won. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously that's why you have like 6 4-loss teams above Providence in the rankings is because they're not that great of a basketball team.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I mean, will they be a dangerous like 6 or 7 seed? Yes. If they're a 6 or 7 seed, they're going to be dangerous. However, if they end up in a 3, 4, 5 seed, they're due for a early exit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now let's move on because I got a hot take on the next team.
The Duke Blue Devils, and Coach K's farewell tour. Paolo Banchero, one of the top players in the country. Duke, I don't know. I like Duke. I think they look pretty good. I don't love them. I like them. I don't love them. And that's kind of where I sit on Duke.
Duke is definitely not where they've been in the past, and I think even Coach K would admit that. The thing that I think I enjoy about this the most, though, would have to be that farewell tours never work out. They never work out well. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. You get the nice moments and everything at the arenas. You get the memories and all that bullshit, the applause and all that. But Coach K is setting himself up to be a first round exit come March.
I would be highly shocked if Duke is a first round exit. Duke
do not trust this Duke team whatsoever. I do not trust them whatsoever.
Bruh, they are a good team. I don't know if they're Elite Eight or Final Four good, but they're good. They're not.
Well,
they're not a team
that's 32 good.
I'm not even going to entertain that argument. Fuck you. They're winning their first two games no matter what.
Degenerate Takes. Duke out first round. Take the underdog on the money line, and you have yourself a nice opening of March Madness, Noah. Which we will be live streaming in Decentraland, by the way. If you haven't heard already, that is our big announcement. We will be doing that. Please follow us on Twitter for more information at Degen Takes. And yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, Noah, continue on how Duke's.
Yeah, I was to clarify, you're going to take a 14 seed over Duke in the first round.
Yep.
Whoever the fuck 14 seed is. Oh, okay. Let me know how that goes.
I mean, we'll be live streaming it, so.
No, I know, and I will. I will. I don't even like Duke, but I will rub it into your face when you're completely fucking wrong about that.
God, that's gonna bust your bracket, dude. That's gonna suck.
Well, it's not because, like I said, I don't think Duke is Elite Eight good, so I'm not picking them to go very far. So if they lost in the first round, it wouldn't even fucking matter. Anyways,
all right. Well, we're 20 minutes in, Noah. We got to get through some teams. Let's keep it going.
Villanova sitting at number 10, the team that I like to make it farthest out of any of the Big East teams. Just coming off of a win against Providence, they will probably jump up to 8 or 7 or something in the rankings this week. I like Villanova a lot, AJ. I have all season. I know they have a considerable amount of losses, sitting at as a 6-loss team.
And I understand for rankings and everything and for seeding, that means a lot. But, no, once it comes tournament time, like whenever I look at college basketball teams, I always think of March because that's all that matters is how are they going to look in March? And and you've been hot on Villanova and everything, it took me a little bit to warm up to them, I will say. But watching this team now, they're ready for March and I expect them to make a deep run.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been discouraged by any of their losses. I mean, I believe their losses are to like Gonzaga, Purdue, Kansas.
And that's the thing. I've almost been more encouraged by their losses because they haven't been bad losses.
When healthy, this Villanova team is a very dangerous team. They're very good. AJ, another team that has 6 losses that's sitting right below them, Texas Tech. Sitting, third in the Big 12. Big 12, which I said is like completely up for grabs. I don't know who's the best team between Kansas, Baylor, and Texas Tech. All very good.
I can tell you who the best team is.
Texas Tech, who wasn't even in the rankings, much like Arizona to start the season, who has really come alive and just been killing it this season. They have a very good team.
Dude, Texas Tech, they've impressed me a lot. I honestly think after watching, Kansas's and the Baylors of the Big 12, I truly think they're the best team in the Big 12 and don't think their record truly reflects how talented they are as a squad. And, a lot of these lower seeds, I really like to make a deeper run into March than I do some of these higher seeds.
I mean, we're not even past the 3 or 4 seeds yet in the tournament, AJ.
I'm sorry.
So we can't be talking about low seeds.
I like more of the bottom of the top 25 to do better in the tournament than I do the top 20 of the list.
I do have to throw it in there because I'd be damned if I didn't. But the Texas Tech Red
Red
Raiders.
Raiders. You got to do that every time.
Uh, I am high on this Red Raiders team. I think
Oh, very
they're
nice. Yes.
I think they have a lot of potential. They're a very good team. Moving on to number 12, a team that did lose this week. The Illinois Fighting Illini, sitting at 12 right now. They have 6 losses as well. This is a team that doesn't impress me very much, AJ. I mean, like, there were high hopes, and Kofi Coburn, obviously a very good player, like absolutely massive behemoth of a man, but I this team's good. Like, they're good. They're capable of making a run, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't know.
This team reminds me of the Golden State Warriors. They can win games, but they're missing something. And I don't know what they're missing. I'm not a basketball guy. I can't be like, oh, well, they're missing a five, a person starting in the five that can do X, Y. I can't do that for you. I just don't know what they're missing. All I know is that they
Well,
are
that's the thing.
ATS.
They're
Their ATS is atrocious. Like at the end of the day, I'm a
I
sports better, and I don't like Illinois at all. I don't like how inconsistent they are. I don't like. Yeah, get them out of here.
well, that's the thing. They're not even really missing any like pieces. They're just not good enough, is what I would argue.
Fair enough.
What they're missing is talent. Which, I mean, they have a lot of really good 3-point shooters. They have Kofi Coburn, but it's not there. It's not there. I don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, last year, a bunch of people thought it was going to happen. Loyola just fucking clapped them in the second round.
Oh shit! Hit my mic. My bad.
Number 13, we got UCLA.
Yeah, don't need to say anything. Get them the fuck out of the rankings.
Well, not get them out of the rankings. They're good enough to be in the rankings, but AJ, I mean, what did I say at the beginning of the season? I said, why the fuck are they ranked number 2? I'm like, this team barely cracked the field of 68 and made a Final Four run. So, like, good for them. They return all 5 starters. Good for them. But I'm like, why are they ranked number 2 to start the season? Like, they should be ranked like 15 to 20. That was my opinion.
That's because of
And
sports betting and everything like that, Noah. Like, honestly, you and I, who have watched enough basketball, know that that's not a good team.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're good, but like, and they could make another run if they get hot again, but they have to get hot again. They're not very hot right now. Moving on to a team that I think might be the biggest fucking sleeper pick of the entire tournament, Houston. Bro, whoever gets stuck with Houston in their quadrant of the bracket is in for a fucking shit show of a day.
Yeah.
Because Houston's hovering right around that 4 to 5 seed. If I'm a team with a 1 seed, there is no way in hell I want to fucking play Houston.
No.
There's no way in hell I want to play Houston in the Sweet 16. Because that
Houston
team
is a solid squad.
That team plays damn good defense, and even though their top 2 players are injured, they are still a damn good team. Houston's going to be the scariest of the 4 or 5 seeds because I do think they will end up landing at a 4 or a 5 seed, and they're going to be a scary as hell 4 or 5 seed.
Dude, just scary as hell, and you couldn't have said it better. You could not have said it better. They are a sleeper of sleepers. This team, whenever I watch them play, they scare me, bro. And I'm like, they're really in the American Athletic? Really? Like, they should be in some other shit. Like, they are unbelievable the way they play. I'm excited to see them in the tournament. That's all I'm going to say about them.
Yeah. Number 15 right now, we got Wisconsin, who Yeah, they are trending downwards. Johnny Davis, hell of a player. Um, Rest of the team is literally a bunch of fucking white boys from Minnesota. So, uh,
Walk-ons.
I mean, not walk-ons, but I mean, Wisconsin's been playing very good this season. They're not a team to be taken like super lightly, but like you shut down Johnny Davis, like they don't have anything else. You got 35-year-old Brad Davison on the team, who's literally been there for like 18 years now. Um, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know that Wisconsin poses like a huge threat to make a deep run. I don't think they will. Uh, number six, number 16 right now, AJ, ranked number 16. The Tennessee Volunteers, who a team that obviously Arizona, one of the two teams Arizona lost to. They seem to be catching their stride a little bit. One of the things they struggled with earlier in the season was offense, but they seem to be producing a little bit. Obviously, the game we covered against Tennessee, they were draining threes, shooting at really high clip. Won that game by like 20 points over the number 4 team in the country as of now. I think Tennessee makes a little jump up to 12 or 13 this week, maybe.
As they should,
Um,
as they should. And Noah, the thing that we talked about U of A, and the thing that I think we can echo with Tennessee is their defense, their intensity. They did not stop at
oh,
all the entire game. It was unbelievable.
well, and the amount of turnovers they forced and the points off those turnovers was huge.
Unbelievable.
Uh, Tennessee's a legitimate contender when it comes to March Madness. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I anticipate with how tough the SEC is, I don't think they'll win that. I think we'll see Tennessee in either a 4 or a 5 seed,
Yeah.
unless they make a deep run in the SEC tournament. They might get a 3, but Tennessee's not a team that I would write off from a Final
No.
Four. I mean they're good. They're good.
They're a very good squad.
Now, moving on to 17, another Pac-12 team that I completely would write off from a Final Four is USC.
Bye bye. Nothing else to say. Bye bye. You guys are dog
I,
shit.
this team, I mean, they show flashes of like really good stuff, but they're just not that good. And
No.
I feel like we don't even need to like say any more about that. I mean, they beat UCLA, but I also don't think UCLA is that good.
No.
Um, which the funny thing is, if you asked me preseason, I would have said yes, both of these teams would have been better than Arizona. But now that I've seen Arizona and Tommy Lloyd's team and what they can do, we are way better than both of those teams.
Way better, way better.
Um, AJ, should we just rip through the last 7 or 8 teams here?
Yeah, I really don't have much to say about any of these, dude.
Ohio State, they're
Fair enough.
you know they're
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 good.
pretty good. Another team that'll probably fall in like the 4 to 5 seed range. Michigan State, another Big Ten team, sitting right after them at 19.
Only thing on Michigan State, if it's a smaller spread, they're very good ATS against like those 3-4 point spreads. But if it's a bigger spread than that, be cautious.
Yeah, Michigan State though, interesting enough. A lot of people have been like, "Oh, how are you going to like?" There was all this buzz about how at the beginning of the season, people are telling Tom Izzo and Michigan State, they're like, "How are you going to succeed without a superstar?" And they've done pretty well. They're still a
They've done
pretty
pretty
good
well
team.
without a superstar.
Um, Texas, I do have my 2 cents about Texas. They are so fucking talented, but this team has no identity. They have no identity.
None.
It's just nothing. So they're not going far in March Madness. Uh, Team after them at 21, Murray State. I love Murray State. I mean, they They made some small waves when John Morant was there. That's just because they had John Morant, who's going insane. This is a better
Yep.
overall team than they had with John Morant. Now, none of the players compare to John Morant, but this is a better overall team. This Murray State team is going to be making some waves in this tournament. Uh, Wyoming at 22, they had a bad loss. They're going to drop out of the rankings, but they're still a pretty decent team. We beat them by 30. That's fine. Arkansas in the rankings, obviously, after beating Auburn. I do love Eric Musselman, the Muss Bus. Great coach. I wouldn't be surprised to see Auburn maybe make a little bit of a like Sweet 16 run or something like that out of like a 6 seed. UConn, also a team not too. I mean, don't count out UConn. They're a very good team. And then you got Alabama
Count
at
them
number
out,
25.
but don't expect too much out of them.
And then you got Alabama at number 25, who
That's a courtesy.
got Alabama is, well, I know you fucking hate Alabama at everything, but this Alabama basketball team, I will say they're one of those weird ones where they are capable of beating anybody, but they're also capable of losing to anybody. So
yes, and that's what scares me about them.
So I wouldn't pick them as your champion for sure. But, well, and they're also not going to get, they're going to be the favorite in their first round matchup. But, I could see Alabama squeezing out like a Sweet 16 or Elite 8 run, but they can't string together enough wins to win a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. If they get good enough seeding and everything, maybe they get lucky for a Sweet 16, but that's about it. Now, Noah, before we do sign off for the night, do you have anything else to say to the D-Gens after recapping all top 25 of college basketball?
Bear down, go Cats, baby.
Bear down, go Cats. Please, again, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Degenerate Takes as we are releasing new news regarding our metaversal transition to Decentraland, where we will be live casting March Madness Round 1 and Round 2. More details to come soon, and we will see you next time on Degenerate Takes.